Okay, g'day guys. Okay, so this is just a quick video. I've got a PTO winch on the front of my truck, and I've always wanted to be able to freespool from in the cab, just make life a whole lot easier. And I knew that you could get an air operated freespool, but they were a few bucks, so I thought I'd try and pull one apart, the hub apart, and just see if I can make something up. So once you pull them apart, so that's the hub that goes on there, right? And it normally has a center in, so it would look a bit like that. So to get into this thing, so I pried up these tabs. You can lift this out and you can see inside there you've got the bit that you turn and a big retaining ring. Under that ring you've got that guy, which is the guy that has the tabs on him. You can see those little wee notches in there. Well, I'll take the spring out, and that's what puts tension on everything. I've cut mine, but you can see that's what you're turning. You turn that, it turns inside that, and that makes this guy go up and down. Now he moves up and down in there about 8mm. That's it. So you wind that joker, he comes up and down 8mm. So what did I do? So once you disassemble it, you've got your drive gear there. If you have a look inside there carefully, you can see just there, you see the lip. That lip is that lip there, and that's retained by this guy. He just sits on this back side. You can just see the little groove up the top edge there. So what I decided to do was, all I wanted to do was have a push-pull, so it would be sprung and I could have a push-pull thing, essentially, so then I could hook up a cable and a rod. So I'll show you what I did. Okay, so essentially you can see down there it's just sitting on that lip. I made up that washer. That was just a hole saw and a bit of panel steel, so 1mm, 1.1mm panel steel, and I made up just that ring, that disc, as a sort of just a retainer, really, to take place of that thing. That thing there is the shell of a bearing. It's a kingpin bearing shell, and it just seemed to be about the right size. Then I made up this cup out of a bit of, I don't know, 1 3/4 I think, heater hose pipe that I was using when I ran my rear radiator. Put a plate in the back of it and put this rod on and tap the end of it. So that drops in there like that. Don't worry about the little wee tong things that stick out. I was pissing around this side of a prototype. You could actually do this without having to do that. So I just tack welded that to that cup. That just happens to fit over there pretty much spot on, right? So that drops in there, and then I'll show you a bit. So on the top of this guy here, you can see that little gold disc thing. Well, that's one of them, and you get two of them. There's one in the top, one on the bottom. So after you put that cup thing in, then I put that around the top, and then put the retaining clip back in the top. So now you've got that. So now you've got your rod to push and pull, and you've got that sitting there, and this guy goes on there and engaged. So all I need, and I can push and pull on this. That's the only reason I put that cup on, so you can retain it. Pops out, pushes in, pops out, pushes in. So then I'm like, righto, so how does that go together? I'll show you. Literally, that's a bit of heater hose pipe, I think. I made up this round disc, so that drops in there like that. So grab a spring and this little doodacky I made up here, so that drops into there, and there's a, I won't put this in, but there's a retaining clip, right? That goes down in there and holds. So the retaining clip, that goes down in there and holds that guy in. So you drop down in there and retain him. Once he's retained, then this goes, you drop your spring in. I won't put it in because it's too hard to hold him. You drop your spring in, and that seats around here. Then you drop that guy in, like so. Yep. And now you got that. Okay. And then I found this. It was actually a solid end. I drilled a hole in it. That sleeve's over the top of this and over the top of that quite snug, but it still allows it to slide in and out. Okay, so now you've got the gizmo that pushes in and out, right? And once it's sprung, so it's sprung, so it's permanently engaged. And if you pull on a lever, or you can pull on this rod, it will essentially disengage. Yeah. So now I got to that point, and I did this.
Okay, so hopefully you can see this, but if you watch this, so see that? So she slides in and out pretty smooth, and that gives you all the travel you need to be able to hook her up and engage it. So yeah boy, I think that worked. Freespool? Oh yeah, Freespool. And it's locked. Alrighty, check that. A little bit of sweetness. So made up that little fella down there, made up a pivot hinge thingy for it. I just got to tap the end of that thing. That's plugs the end. Don't look at the welds to it. And then a foot on that thing. There, and this cable thing was the old sway bar disconnect, which I've never ever used. It's always been tucked around the back and along the chassis. So I just unclipped it and pulled it up the front. So it's like on a handbrake lever right next to your left foot. You just pull on the lever, Freespool. Fucking good. It's locked. So I'll just go and pull on the thing. So, Freespool. Hang on. And locked. There you go. So, crude maybe, basic maybe, but I don't know, effective.